right, I'm Chris Avina with American Outdoor News. Today we have a really special guest, my friend Luke Clayton, who's on Catfish Radio, Sportsman's Life TV, on Carbon TV. He's the hunting editor for Airgun Hobbyist, and he's been an outdoor writer forever, so I'm sure you've read any number of his articles over the years. Luke, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Chris. It's an honor to be with you. Hats off on the digital magazine. I read every word, every article. A great job there, buddy.
Well, I'm so glad to have you a part of it. I'm looking forward to the response on the article that is going to be in the upcoming winter edition. This is going to be a big edition. I'm really excited about it.
Well, I'm excited to be there, buddy. I guarantee you. I think the first article that I did for you, I believe that was a deer hunting article with big bore air guns. Yes. And that's not, as an old outdoor writer, I learned a long time ago, if I box myself in as a bow hunting writer or a centerfire hunting writer, muzzleloader writer, I'll do all of that and it's all fun. Crossbows, I like to, if it goes bang or shoots an arrow, it's fun for me. But you really box yourself in as a writer if you don't expand a little bit, you know? Yep. So air guns is something I discovered, oh gosh, the big bore, they're called PCP air guns, you know. I discovered them about 10 years ago, and I'm not really like a technical guy on big bore air guns. I'm not. I own several of them, and I hunt with them a lot, and I'm kind of knowledgeable about hunting with the air, the power of air, and that's something that many of the states have adopted laws. Here in Texas, 4 years ago, the big game species can be hunted, including turkey, can be hunted with big bore air guns. That's 30 calibers that pressure up to 3,000 psi or more. I think it's 230 foot-pounds of energy, but gosh, Chris, these big bore air guns, if people haven't been exposed to them now, they're quite powerful, honestly, you know.
I was actually introduced to them probably about 5 years ago, and I've had the pleasure of firing quite a few of them. And I tell you, the technology has moved so fast in that industry, where you could take these things to Africa and take down plains game. It's amazing.
Exactly, Chris. You know, one of the gun, the one-stop shop for everything air gun related is Pyramyd Air. I mean, you can go online to Pyramyd Air, PYRAMYD, pyramydair.com, and they have everything. It's just like a clearinghouse for everything you need. But they have through Pyramyd Air, there's a one rifle that's called a Dragon Claw. You probably have seen it. And it's a bullet shooter or an arrow, air bolt shooter. And you mentioned big game, Cape buffalo over in Africa been killed with the Dragon Claw. As a bullet shooter, I've killed a lot of hogs with it, but when it comes to what I call long range air gun shooting, and I call that 100 yards. I honestly never shot a big game animal past about 75 yards, but they're capable of it. The Air Force air guns, Texan, I know you've heard about the Texan. I have a 45 caliber that you can pressure that thing up to 3,600 PSI. I usually shoot at about 3,100, but it's a bullet shooter. I mean, it shoots flat for an air gun, and that's my go-to gun for shooting bullets. But the Dragon Claw is obviously for shooting the air bolts with broadheads. Devastating on just about any game you want to hunt.
I know Crossman came out with an air bow probably about 4 years ago that is really something else to shoot.
Oh yeah, they're fun to shoot. You know, I wrote a newspaper column here 2 or 3 weeks ago about so many people quizzed me. Okay, Luke, So I think I want to start hunting with the big bore air gun. Now, what do I need? Well, what you need is some way to pressure that air gun up, obviously. Now, there's air tanks. Even a scuba tank with an adapter will work, but it's kind of big and it's kind of clumsy. So there's carbon fiber tanks that you can buy. But, and that's the way I started out is tanks. But the problem is you have to fill that tank. You have to go somewhere. Somebody's got to have a compressor that will generate 3,000 PSI, or now 3,600 if you want that. So, a tankle is great, and it's good for many fills. You usually have about 3 what I call killing shots with a big bore air gun. My Texan shoots 3 times hard enough that I feel comfortable shooting a deer at 50, 60 yards or a little farther. But you're going to ultimately need that tank refilled. So there's so many. What I advise people to do, a tank is nice if you have some way to fill it, but there's compressors, portable compressors now that are about the size of a car battery, a kind of a small car battery. And I just filled my Dragon Claw with my compressor just before we went on the air here. It takes 5 minutes, but I feel before I go on a hunt, I will take that compressor. It's called a Nomad. It's about the size of a car battery, a little smaller, much lighter. And I'll take it and I'll pressure the gun I'm going to hunt with up to 3,000, 3,100. And then I'm ready to go for 3 shots. How many times do you need to shoot more than 3 times on a deer hunt, say? Very seldom.
Hopefully none.
You're doing something wrong, Chris, if you do. But it's good for three shots that would kill a deer. And so I take it with me. It's got alligator clamps that you can hook on your car battery, or you can plug it in, AC current. So I take the compressor with me, say around camp. If someone wants to shoot it, well, we'll plug it in, charge it back up, shoot it a few times. But I'm a big proponent now, honestly, of a portable compressor. Nomad, I don't know exactly. It's a few $100s. It's not real expensive, but to get started with a good air quality big bore air gun and a compressor, you could buy an economical centerfire much cheaper. It'll cost over $1,000, but then you've got it. You don't have to worry about ammo. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. Now, you've been an outdoor writer for a long time. You're in what, over 40 papers?
Yes, sir. There's 41 Texas newspapers that run it, and I freelance, for Texas wildlife. I'm the shooting and hunting columnist, but fur fish and game is another, I freelance for a bunch of them, Chris. Sure. But yes, yeah, I really started out writing for newspapers 36 years ago.
So how did you start out being an outdoor writer?
That's kind of interesting. Chris, since I was a boy, I would go out. We had a Papa Dinkins, who's really no blood kin, but he was like a grandfather to me, down in Southeast Texas. He had about 2,500 acres down there, and that's back in the late mid-60s. In 65, I was 15 years old. So give you a timeline there. I'd go down, I'd get on a Greyhound bus. I was raised up in the country up in Northeast Texas. My folks would put me on a Greyhound bus with a Marlin 336C and a gun case, and they thought nothing of it, with a couple of boxes of ammo stuck in the old Ziploc gun case, right? Yeah. So I'd jump on that thing and I'd go down to hunt with Papa Dinkins. And there were enough deer to hunt, but they were just the deer, whitetail boone was just coming about in those years. Well, I just started, I'd go down there and I'd take a big Chief tablet. Now this sounds like something that came over on the Mayflower. I would take an old tablet and write like 10 pages every evening. We live way out in the woods and nothing else to do, and send that letter home. He would mail it every day. Wow. So I don't know. You've heard of people being a born writer. I don't know about that, but I know there is a desire in some people to express what they've done with words. And I'm one of those people. Yeah. I mean, so, and I look back when I first started writing, well, no, I wasn't a born writer. I get a pretty good laugh out of some of the stuff I read now, really. But that's kind of how I got, so I had a desire to write, how hardwired, if you will.
Yeah.
So I was a surveyor in my, for a long time, a surveyor out, finding property corners, and that's how I made my living. We was going to a little cabin I had up, which as soon as I got off work, I would straight to a cabin on the lake with my young family. I was going across the bridge. I'll never forget it. I told my wife, I'm spending all our free time out here at this cabin. We're fishing and hunting and stuff like that. I need to be making some money on the weekends. So this is how it happened, Chris. I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to some of the local newspapers and see if they will pay me a little money to write outdoor articles. So that's how it started. And it's been quite a learning curve, as you know. It's
Sure.
The outdoor press is a ride. But it's been, I wouldn't
changed over time.
Yes, sir. That's right. But I've been doing it so long that now, it's really easy for me. I used to stress out, well, how am I going to do this article? It seems like after so many years, I just sat down at the computer now and with a basic thought and I get it done somehow.
It's funny you say that, because I know a lot of seasoned writers who've been doing it for decades, like yourself, and they could bang out an article like that. I don't understand how they could do it. Yeah, it's I know people that could write under any conditions, no matter where they are. I'm not that type of writer.
Well, I don't understand it either. Writing, not that I do not profess to be a great. I'm not a great. I've written a couple of books, and but I bang out a bunch of words in the course of a month. I really do, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like work to me. Yep. And it's interesting, Chris, and I would say this to anyone listening to us now, younger person or whatever, that thinks, hey, I'd like to get into the outdoors somehow. For years, at least 2 decades, all I did was wrote about, was a writer. And then I was a guest on a radio show out of Houston one time, talking about hog hunting, one of my passions. And a friend who's also an outdoor writer and a radio, kind of like I am now, He says, Luke, you ought to think about starting, trying to get on some radio stations. And I said, well, that's just not me. Well, I started it and it just kind of morphed. Now, Larry Weissoon, our buddy Larry's been on my show for 14 years every week. I mean, the advice I would have for someone is to don't be afraid to get started, and don't think you instantly have to be like Chris or be doing the things that you do, or maybe Luke. You're not going to start there. It's not going to happen. But just have fun with it. And if you don't like it, you'll learn real quick that it's not for you, and then you'll go on about your business. It's good to be have fun hunting and fishing. So, that might help someone that wants to get started, Chris.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I got to say, the magazine and the podcast has really been a lot of fun for me. It really don't even feel like work, because you're doing what you like. We're outdoors, we're hunting, we're talking hunting with people that we know, or, it's people you don't know that are into the same things that we are. It's an instant bond.
It is. And, there's more and more people getting into the outdoors. There was a time when I used to think, well, let's help this kid get started, or this young boy or girl. Let's get them introduced into the outdoors. I used to think like that. Now you wouldn't, now I know a lot of grown men that I've taken hunting or whatever with me that just, they were raised in an environment where they weren't subjected to hunting. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the way I was raised. I mean, I was raised on a farm up in Northeast Texas until I was a mid-teens.
Yep.
And if I wanted to go hunting, well, I just grabbed the old Mossberg or whatever and walked out the door,
Yep.
But I understand it's not like that now with our population and the way things are nowadays,
Well, I grew up in New York, and I'm on Long Island. It's not exactly the hunting capital of the world. For me, the outdoors, my uncle used to take me camping and eventually introduced me to hunting. And that's how I got into it. My family, my immediate family, my brothers, my father, they don't hunt. They're not outdoorsmen. I don't know. I question how I got into it, but it was just something I took to right away.
Yeah, I think some people just, are for lack of a better term, hardwired to hunt. I really, and fish. But I actually, I never feel more alive than when I'm out. I can be sitting in a deer stand, or I love fishing, and I write about fishing a lot. Here in so many lakes here in Texas, and then down on the coast. But I don't know. There's something about being out in the woods and just peace and tranquility, and I do like to eat game. I mean, and I like to cook it too. I know how to cook. So yeah, I mean, I really would hate to think of going through life and not having a chance to enjoy the outdoors. It'd be a tough road to hoe for me.
So you have your radio show. You write for any number of newspapers and magazines, and you also have a Sportsman's Life on Carbon TV with our friend Larry Wiseun. Can you tell us about that?
Yep, and that's an interesting story too. Never in my wildest dream did I ever think I'd be getting involved with any video show. Never. I never had any desire to, really. But I've got a good friend, Jeff Rice from Wisconsin. Jeff has lived in Texas for 18, 20 years. He has a little ranch farm, if you will. Really good game country up in Northeast Texas near Lake Fork, which some of our viewers may know where Lake Fork is. Good lake. And he's all about videography. So about 2.5 years ago, Jeff said, you know what? I would have him with me on story assignments sometimes, to be there with us. And he told me, he said, let's start a weekly video. I'll do it. He said, we can film. I love to cook on Dutch kettles and things like that. He said, we can film you cooking. We can film us hunting hogs, skinning a hog, how to do this, how to do that. And we started doing that. Well, Larry Wiseun, my buddy, who is most definitely well grounded in video. We all know that Larry is. Yep. So Larry had come up. I introduced him to Jeff, and we started. Larry had come up to Jeff's cabin 2 or 3 days and, hunt hogs or fish on the creek, that kind of deal. And Larry says, let's take this to the next level, boys. And I said, okay, let's go. Larry had already been my guest on the radio show forever. So we did. We started. Now it was outdoor Sportsman's Life with the 3 of us instead of just Jeff and I. So we learned a great deal from Larry. I did, and Jeff did. But Jeff had the expertise, the editing ability, and to make the shows look good.
Yeah.
You can go to a Sportsman's Life, go to YouTube at any point in time and just search out a Sportsman's Life and watch even the first shows that we did. And then Larry's been with us for about 15 months now, so you can watch the current shows also with Larry. But very few people watch it on YouTube. Most of them, we've had it on another streaming channel and Facebook thing, and it was getting like 250,000 views a month there. But very excited about Carbon. because it's a weekly show, they're expecting it to be, and I'm sure Larry, so many people know Larry, the fact that he's on it too. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty good show from the beginning, you know.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see your upcoming episodes, and I'm actually really excited to have you a part of American Outdoor News as well. I appreciate your input.
Well, I hope to, I'll just pick and choose the stuff I think our friends would be interested in reading about. There's a lot of stuff going on down here in Texas, Chris, and I'll try to pick subjects that are maybe Texas oriented and send them your way. Hopefully, think ahead and get one in each issue. That's what I'd like to do.
That'll be great. Well, I will see you at Dallas Safari Club. We could speak about it further, but we're running out of time. I want to thank you again for coming on, and I look forward to seeing you in Dallas this January.
You bet. It's been great, Chris. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe to Sportsman's Life on Carbon TV and subscribe to our podcast. Thanks again.
You betcha.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.